Morning, happy Friday. Anthony Speciale here with Speciale Analysis, unedited on the edge of the market. Just want to kind of wrap this week up with a quick conversation. It's been literally a roller coaster between Wednesday and Thursday this week. I mean, the volatility's just been incredible. And this could be sickening for many of you that are new or haven't experienced this before. It's flat out a difficult market. I don't want to lie to you. There's no great secret to that. You have to have a great amount of discipline, have a trade plan that you can follow, and really, really stick to it. That your consistency and discipline really shines through in market conditions like this. Listen, when the market's trending in an up direction or down direction, it's a little easier, particularly in up direction. But as we come down, and that's really what we're in the process of doing, we remain in a mode of sell the rallies. So when the market pops, if we're in positions, that's where we want to exit. Or if we're going to short, that's where we want to enter our shorts. So we kind of want to continue to move in that direction for now. And when the trend changes, we will change with the trend. But we have yet to see that. So we had this incredible rally Wednesday afternoon, 1,000 points on the Dow, followed by the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell. Everything was up across the board based on the Fed's decision to only move 50 basis points. They said 75 basis points was off the table. And, moving forward, 50 was kind of the number they were looking at. And that was the expectations for meetings in the future. Market liked that. Market likes certainty. Market likes to know where we're at, where we're going, what's coming. So it got that on Wednesday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you saw what the market did into the close. I mean, it reacted very aggressively to it. Followed by Thursday morning, we started the day off vaguely in the red. I mean, we were hovering around break even at the open, maybe down 100 points on the Dow, 100 and a half, couple points respectively on the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Russell. And then we had a bloodbath as the day continued on. And I want to talk about that bloodbath because this is something that we need to be realistic of. Everyone jumps on the bandwagon of when we have a 1,000-point up day that, hey, that's the bottom. We hit it. I'm, going to catch the falling knife. I'm going to load the boat here. This is where I'm going to buy. Do not do that. That is what is called a failed reversal or a failed breakout to the, indirection of the market. You will get hurt doing that in most cases. In a down market, your biggest days are typically up days, believe it or not, even though the overall trend is down. So I kind of want to share that with you guys a little bit and also give you a little more of my thought process along the lines of when does this get better? Or the better question is, how does this get better? In my personal opinion, I'm not an economist. I barely graduated high school, so take this with a grain of salt. But I will give you, from being a Main Street businessman, from being a Wall Street guy, from playing both sides of the field and doing everything in between, whether it comes from owning real estate, operating small businesses, being a trader now for about 10 years, and with discipline and with consistency succeeding, in all areas of business as I've studied them and pursued them. And listen, that didn't come easy, but it did happen over time. This is my humble opinion. My humble opinion is as long as we are battling a petroleum issue, meaning the price of things that are produced by petroleum, which is essentially everything that exists, we are going to continue to have increasing inflation. The computer that is filming this video that I'm shooting right now, the glass that is housing my Sprite, the Sprite that got to the local convenience store, everything you see, everything you touch, the cell phone here, in some fashion, required petroleum to manufacture it, to facilitate it, to orchestrate it, to transportate it, to whatever, along the logistics lines of everything that exists in the world. Petroleum is required in some fashion. Whether it's used to actually manufacture it, plastic is made from petroleum, tires is made from petroleum, blacktop's made from petroleum, everything is. Until we get that under control, we're not going anywhere. At least not this inflation isn't settling. I drove down the road the other day. The price of diesel, and this is in northern New Jersey. I'm about 30 to 40 minutes outside of Manhattan. On a major highway, the price of diesel is $6.49 a gallon. Now, every truck out there that transports all the crap, for lack of a better word, that you and I buy, that you and I consume, that you and I need to survive, run on diesel. Can you imagine what it's like for those trucking companies to be filling those trucks to transport all that crap that we need to buy? It's not pleasant for them. I know this because I have friends in the logistic business. I have friends in the trucking industry. And after being in business for 40, 50 years, they've never endured something like this before. In 2008, when the crude oil barrel hit about $147 a barrel, the U.S. standard, the WTI light sweet crude oil barrel, we were paying roughly $4 to $5 a gallon for gasoline. In New Jersey, I know I never rolled to a $5 price tag back then. It was $4 and change. We are currently today sitting at about $107 a barrel for WTI, $40 less than we were in 2008. Yet somehow we've exceeded the cost or that we are passing along to the driver, the trucker, the companies, and what they're paying for fuel. Now, back in 2008, diesel, really the cost of diesel on the road was about the same or less than gasoline. Today, it's about 20 to 25% more. So if you could buy gas today for $4, you're, like I said, you're paying about $6.50 for a gallon of gasoline, or a gallon of diesel compared to a gallon of gasoline. So it's really more than that. It's about 30 plus % difference. This is a tax on all of us, indirectly, whether we realize it or not. The simple fact is, if the cost of production, the cost of manufacturing, the cost of logistics, the cost of distribution and delivery and transportation continues to go up, the cost of all the goods that goes along with it goes up as well. I have friends in the restaurant business. They used to tell me they would buy a case of chicken tenders or chicken nuggets, whatever the hell they buy, chicken, for lack of a better term, for lack of specifics. I don't know. They told me they paid $65, $70 a case. Now they're paying $150 a case for that same amount of chicken. They're paying more for eggs. They're paying more for flour. They're paying more for wheat. Listen, we have another situation coming on the horizon that most of you are not aware of. Ukraine is a huge global contender in the supply chain for wheat and corn. Well, what do we do with corn here in the United States? We make it into ethanol for our gasoline, for our vehicles. So Ukraine is in the middle of being invaded by Russia. They are fighting for their lives. This is not a political conversation, so I don't want to dive into what NATO or the United States or any other country should have or could have done, because it's irrelevant. We can't change what we could have or would have or should have done in the past. But the reality is, do you think that country is focused on fertilizing their crops? Do you think that country is focused on tilling and prepping their land to plant for next season? Do you think they're focused on harvesting the crops that are in the ground right now? Or do you think they're focused on saving their country from an invasion of a absolute and total tyrant? I would gather it's B. The reality is the entire country is faced with the issue that they have to deal with. Otherwise, they won't have a country. So next year, in the coming months, we are going to see a disruption in the supply of corn into the market and a supply of wheat into the market. So things that are related to corn and wheat are both going to get much more expensive just based on simple supply and demand. So those are just a few other things that I see, a few other things that are coming, and a few things that we should be concerned about and all be very well aware of. So I know we keep listening to the talking heads on TV that, the inflation is going to get better, and the government, the Fed's doing this because it sees strength in the economy. Listen, there's a few underlying things that if we don't correct them, in my humble opinion, that all the rest that we do is fairly insignificant. It has a short-term effect. And how do I know that it has some merit to it? Well, simply because we saw it transpire on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday afternoon, we had a comment. We had a spike in overall prices across the market. Thursday morning, guess what? The merit of that comment had dissipated and everything had sold back off to below where it was the day before. So I tell you this, not to scare you. I tell you this because this does in fact create opportunities in the market if you're willing to be consistent, if you're willing to be disciplined. But I also tell you because this is not the easiest market to trade in. So I encourage you to be extra conservative. I encourage you to, tighten up your stop when and where you can. I encourage you to book profits when and where you can. I encourage you to just be a little more cautious than where you've had to be over the past couple of years. The past couple of years have been a little bit different. But there was always a time that we knew during these past couple of years the bill would come due. Well, guess what? The bill is coming due right now, and it's something that we all, as a society, as a country, as a world, are going to deal with. The bill has to get paid at some point, and that's kind of where we're at. So I kind of wanted to wrap up this week really with the chat more than looking at the market. We're going to, of course, look at the market Monday morning. We'll do our weekly overall major market update. I will update all the analysis on all of the charts for your reference throughout next week. But again, I felt like this was important. I felt like it needed to be talked about. I felt like there's a lot of push and pull in the media, particularly on the financial channels. And I really wanted to just kind of put a little perspective out there, give you a little grounding here or there that we can kind of work off of. This is not the end of the world. I've traded through things like this before. It's not impossible. You just have to be patient. You have to remain very disciplined. You have to remain very consistent right now, and you'll do fine. You'll do fine. Just stick to it, and again, you'll be okay. It just, this is a little, the sweet ride up, I think, is over, and we're going to contend with it, whether they're pullbacks, corrections, a bear market, whatever it is. For us as traders, particularly myself, I don't care which direction the market moves in, as long as it moves in a direction. As long as there's a direction, I am happy because I know that I am able to make money. That's all that I need, and that is what I'm ultimately here to share with all of you. So you see that in my TradingView account. I update the ideas that I share with you. I give you the analysis. I give you different trade ideas. Listen, of course, I can't give you unique or personal advice, but I'm just trying to stimulate the thought processes for you so that you can do well for yourself and kind of help you along, as that's what I was looking for when I got started trading. So I'll let you guys go. I know today kind of just turned into a chat a little bit, but I want to end the week circling back on kind of, what transpired over the past couple days, because it's been a wild ride. Of course, we'll see what happens, today. Today's Friday, and we'll end the week, see if there's some kind of balancing act between the past couple days. But everybody got excited Wednesday night, and let me tell you, they were singing a different tune on Thursday night. So I hope you have a great weekend. I look forward to talking to you Monday. Questions, comments, concerns. If you guys need anything at all that I can help you with, please feel free to reach out to me. info@specialanalysis.com. And as always, if you enjoy these videos, if you find them helpful, if you find them educational, please below, like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate you, sharing this with anyone who you feel can also find value from it. So, again, have a great night, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday.